So I've made it to Adelaide, and it's absolutely beautiful here. And so I asked to be picked up in a Rolls Royce, just giving my friends at Haltech a hard time, and one up me to what I'm getting picked up in. This is absolutely hilarious because I just saw this car on the cover of a magazine. So there's a reason the police were there. Poor Jay ripped the front lip off of it on a big speed hump, and you can see the remains of it over there. So they're dealing with that right now. It looks like I'm gonna drive, but I'm not. I'm the passenger.
It's not America, so you have to wear seatbelts here.
Yeah. Oh my God, we were so low. I thought low standards, Jay, meant quality, not height.
It has an 8 HP in it.
Oh, that's one why it was so smooth
With the
shift.
clutch pedal too.
Oh, that's cool.
Now it's automatic.
Yeah. Oh, that is nice. You get best of both.
Yeah, Haltech R3, Haltech UC10, but done to look original.
Oh no.
Yeah. All the things you're familiar with.
Yeah. Except done right.
But it's a mechanical diesel. So
Okay.
mechanical diesel pump. But we have a drive-by-wire a stepper motor on it and drive-by-wire pedal on the mechanical pump.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
So, but it's really bumpy. But they're normal, okay?
Okay.
This is a small one. Now the big one. But it is normal.
Oh, okay.
Normal in my world.
Yeah.
One more.
Okay. As long as you're laughing. This weekend is an event, and while I normally set a bad example, I think Jay is setting a good example of how quickly you can get a car built. But I have not seen this. This is literally fresh for you guys.
Yeah.
Not fresh for you, but fresh for me.
Not only have you not seen this project, you've probably never seen a car like this in your life.
No.
It's it's all new, so yeah, pretty cool and exciting.
What's this?
So it's a 74 Holden HQ. So it's a Holden Kingswood in Australia, inline six with column automatic, and it's a very basic, bland vehicle. So a week ago, I drove this into this position, and I pulled the motor out and then put a cooler motor in there.
We're gonna get a naturally aspirated, beautifully exhausted, 3-rotor running in this car.
Yeah, correct.
What do you vision as a successful weekend for us?
The car hasn't done anything since the 90s, so to have this car move and make it to the event and even just park it in the Haltech stand, I think that's an achievement.
This engine from that says to me full P.
Full P, yep.
Okay.
The big difference for you being non-turbo and being PP.
You can always hide your poor tuning by adding boost.
Yeah.
So this will show exactly how good or bad you do.
Yeah, and it might also come down to what we've built. But naturally aspirated for us, if we can get 150 per rotor, perfect. We're doing well.
What's the last possible moment that we drive into the event?
Friday afternoon, because the street parade, that is the moment that we made it.
Pretty windy start to today. You know what's really fun? Not being him. It's my turn to just be a YouTuber. We're running the R3 in this car. You've got 3 rotors, 6 injectors, 6 ignition. So using Haltech's flying lead harness, making it look pretty. With it being naturally aspirated, there's so few inputs. I'm gonna stay out of his way, and I'm gonna build it in the computer and see if what I do matches what they're doing. While that's turning on, I'm gonna go over here real quick and show you guys the baby crown jewel. If you look at it from this point of view, looks like a, 13B, carbureted 13B. And that is very far from the truth. That is a 10A, and it's so old. It's one of the original Mazda's rotaries that it straight up says on the, look at the bottom line, licensed from NSU. I do not have big hands. That is so small. And what's really cool, Jay was telling me off camera, you think that the plates are smaller, but it's just the rotors and the housings. So you can use FC, FD, rear irons, and all the bolt pattern still works the same. So you can adapt it to more modern transmissions. This is the original, like, early Mazda stuff. And what's really crazy is this is actually where a lot of the bad reputation of a rotary engine came from, was this version of the apex seals, side seals, the coating on the housings, all of that, where apex seals, scratch marks and all that, that nasty series of rumors persisted because of this, and then continued on when they solved it. Kind of a bummer that it's like the inaugural version of the engine, and created a lot of the reputation, good and bad, for the rotary. So this is one of my personal favorites. You know, it's an R32, not a GTR, or at least not now. Maybe it is still all-wheel drive. It's used as a truck trailer. That is absolutely an abomination, and I love it. The guys are just wasting no time at all. They got all of the fabrication done. It's currently Wednesday, and we're planning to fire it up either tonight or tomorrow morning. That side body line kind of reminds me of the Challenger. It's got that nice belt line, but this is a very iconic Aussie vehicle. This is like the dream setup for when you're not me and you're like overly complicating it. This is how simple it is. Set up the basics, and then all the sensors, select oil pressure sensor, pick the one with the Haltech part number, and you don't have to do any configuration. You don't have to get weird, custom, anything. There you go, just each of those, and you're all done there. Even the ignition system, you can just pick IGN 1A, RX-8 coils, whatever, R35 coils. You just pick them. That's all there is to it. You can get into the details, but this is like 95% of the way there. I downloaded this from them, and then you can just play with it from there. But these guys have it handled. I don't need to do anything, honestly. That's how simple it is to get a new project, even this wild, fired up on a Haltech. Hands down, when you get into your own project car, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is not digging into this first. Thankfully, Haltech also comes up with a lot of this themselves, but for certain fuel injectors, they don't have this data. So this simple table right here, super simplifying it, it means that if you have this much fuel pressure, this is how much the injector can flow. And so as your fuel pressure drops, naturally the amount of fuel that can flow through that injector drops. So the thing, I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make is that they don't have this table filled in, or they don't pick the injector from Haltech, or this is the secondary injectors on this. It just has one field. Some injectors would just say that. Well, the problem is the Haltech will take that, and if say you have 10 PSI of fuel pressure, it doesn't know that it can flow, or it does flow less, and so then it sets the ECU up to fail. So you want to fill this in with as wide of a range as possible. You know, if you could, 5 PSI all the way up. That way, if you have a problem with your fuel system, which will occur if you're a custom car, fuel system problems are probably the number one killer of rotaries, in my opinion, is that if your fuel pressure drops, the ECU will then open the floodgates and prevent the engine from dying. It'll do it almost naturally, but this is almost predictive in a sense. This is one of my greatest simple skills, is just getting your fuel injector data in there as much as you can, and it pays dividends. Dead times and all this other stuff. I think flow rate is probably one of the most important ones. You can go to ID Injector and they'll show you this, but a lot of people will say, well, you know, my fuel is never going to be only 30 PSI of pressure differential. Well, yes, it will. You run out of fuel, you're going to experience less than that. And you want your computer and your car ready for that. And that's why even my 3-rotor, when I was on Laguna Seca, the guys forgot to fill the car up, and I was running low on fuel. And so it was going, you know, normal 60 PSI, and it was dropping. I never blew the motor. Even though I was at full tilt, it was erroring because my fuel pressure was dropping, but it was not hurting the motor. I certainly don't hate that. But the NA is so much louder than a turbo car. So it is officially time to roll the car over here to the cleaner side of the shop. It's coming over to this side to do all the clean stuff, all the hose, tubing, all coolant, wiring. This is Wednesday, and we're supposed to be driving it in less than 48 hours. So these guys are making some impressive progress, mostly because I'm not touching it. They got a formula and it works incredibly well, and I'm only the type of person that's gonna complicate things. But in this case, what Jay's done is he's got condoms on the intakes, just rubber gloves for now. We got 2 injectors on each runner, and they're all the way up here. So I'm really curious myself to see the fuel delay, which I had issues with on my four-rotor when the primaries were not down there. So we got 2 730cc injectors all the way up there. Now that's never enough fuel if you're gonna run ethanol or boost, which this engine is running neither of those. So it's plenty of fuel here. Nice clean return style, 2 fuel rails. I would overcomplicate all this. He's using the stock water pump line out, going over, 16 AN in, nice straightforward there. And then the oil system is just as simple. Coming out of the front cover, oil goes into the cooler, comes out, goes all the way over to the stock area inlet, except it's aftermarket piece. Gets filtered, pressure temp sensor, and then gets distributed to each of the bearings. Nice and clean engine build by Stefan Parker. Nice standard alternator, don't need something crazy. There's no power steering, there's no like electric power steering, there's no electric water pumps. The most current that he's really gonna use is probably this fan when it turns on. Ignition system, the IGN-1As. Other interesting thing is they're actually using the stock crank angle sensor right there. And that's something I've never used. And then the best part about that front cover is that you have the 4 bolts to mount. If you're gonna make engine mounts, that's nice and solid. I feel bad for all you right-hand drive guys, because look at this. The clusterfuck of having the steering column come through the hottest part of everything, and both of them being on that side, and then having nothing on this side sucks. We do have EGTs on here, each of the runners, but he does have one, main O2 as they all collect, nice and clean there. And so we'll have the UC10 somewhere in there, and then they're nice clean fuel setup, main tank with a lift pump, dumping fuel into the surge tank, and then the surge tank is the one pressurizing the fuel. Nice and straightforward. These guys are using basically the same formula that all the good rotaries run. No guesswork, and it works, so you can trust it. I want to point something out. You see this? Absolutely 0 dirt or anything underneath my fingernails. This is the cleanest I've ever been because I'm doing jack shit. Yeah. Not married to the car. I just want to make it very clear that your teammate in the group project where I just put my name on it and everybody else is actually doing the hard work. Ultimately, I think what's going to happen is we're all going to see if I can do what I say I do about tuning a car. Granted, they set the bar very low for me. I feel so awkward. If I get involved helping with the fuel system, I'm going to overly complicate it. These guys are the ones. Yeah. I can't do that either. Thursday morning, 10 a.m., and the guys are just getting it so close to firing up within hours. Doing some hoses, all the radiator hoses, oil lines are in, whole fuel system's basically in. So we're just doing like those little details and core harness. I really like the alternator, power battery, that type of stuff. So these guys got a nice clean formula. And speaking of formulas, let me show you the four-rotor. I'm sure many of you have seen it already, but it's cool to see his formula in action. So what's really funny to me is I first saw this car on Instagram and I saw the long ass headers wrap around the engine and I was like, that is the stupidest thing ever. And then realized naturally aspirated absolutely loves it. So it's actually one of the coolest things ever. And those headers are so long and then collect all the way to there. And I mean, the sound and I'm sure the power just speaks for itself there, but got a lot of really cool things. And like I was telling the guys earlier, all I can do is just overcomplicate it. Because like, for example, something as simple as this is that you'll notice they don't run a pressure line to the regulator. So the regulator is just saying 48 PSI, but that's technically bouncing in comparison to the runners as they experience vacuum. For them, does not matter. And it really doesn't matter. The Haltech can accommodate for it, but I'm obsessive with like 1-to-1 fuel pressure and making sure that shit's like the same no matter what. That's personal preference in a sense. And as you can see, theirs works. They put a shit ton of miles on it. The plugs are black from tons of abuse. It's perfect. So sometimes, yeah, you can add tons of shit, but you can also take a lot away. I am in Jay's Four-rotor, the iconic car. He's letting me play with this car to understand. All that said, they just changed spark plugs because it lost its iconic rat, 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 rat. And this car is full peripheral port, meaning it should do that almost the most, and it wasn't. Now I'll show you guys real quick on Haltech how to either on a stock port fake it, or on this car, bring it back to life. When the car is idling, you have a certain amount of timing, right? On this car, it's just flat. If it's below the RPM you want, you can speed it up, and then when it gets above that, drop it back down. And so the car's like, whim, whim. It's actually technically surging and dropping, but on a rotary, it sounds absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna fire the car up as it was, and then with the switch of a button, show you the iconic rotary sound. So here we go. That was just right there. That's all just in one spot on the Haltech, and you can see I play with it all day long, but you just get this nice resonance, like whoop, 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 and then the engine does the rest. We have a very fun little predicament. I've essentially created work for myself, but it's only for the love of the game. Jay's Four-rotor, they made a 3-pass radiator. The problem is that created an air pocket in the middle of the radiator, and when I was driving it, just putting it around here, it was surging with pressure and temperature and doing weird things. I really don't want to see that car have any problems, so I volunteered myself to weld, and so I'm using his equipment. You know, I'm outside of my perfect, precious Miller welder, high quality, like everything, and not that his isn't low quality, but his is a machine that's been around for what did you say? 15 years. This is all the welding I've done so far. I was starting to lay dimes. More importantly is that that's a solid weld. I'm gonna try and do this on the radiator in the car. We'll see if that holds water. Yeah, it's because it's pulling a vacuum over there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I close this, let it go.
It's good now.
Yeah.
But it was just, since you were back there to here, it was nothing coming out.
Whoa.
So
It sounds a lot quieter. Yeah, we'll definitely want to fire it up and let it get up to temperature.
Yeah, we'll get on the ground.
So we'll just mark where if there's a pinhole leak. But it's definitely sounding a lot better.
It's back to normal because this is how long it takes to get warm.
Good, yeah.
So where before it was like 70, 80 already.
Yeah,
so
immediately.
that's where you fix that. At 9 o'clock Thursday night.
We're either all going on the beach tomorrow or we're going to Motorsport Festival. It's based on this. The event is now. They've been ringing us up saying, where are we? So that's how late we are, but it's all good.
Everything's good. Are we good?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's how our HQ should sound, by the way. Now I can just fall asleep on the spot because of the fumes, but yeah.
Face down.
Look at that, like,
That's victory.
yeah, that's victory. That's about $8 of fuel, that is.
Everything's solid. The only thing.
Alternator.
I am actually in my happy place. When they said, hey, we're going to dyno it and all that, I was like, man, I never get to do that. And I actually felt uncomfortable. So I'm kind of excited that we get to just go seat of the pants here because this is where I think my skills shine. Not that I want to be unprepared, but I just do really well under pressure. And so at this point, no dyno and a couple seconds of tuning. This car is supposed to be on track in 2 hours. Full speed, trying to set a lap record. None of that's going to happen other than me in the car on the track and making some beautiful noises. So I will show you how well and easy it is to tune on the fly with the Haltech. the situation requires it. We've got a handful of small issues that are all just, teething issues, but right now the car is so solid. I mean, we could go out and do burnouts right now, beat on it, but it's just like that polish that I really want to do and contribute to the group, because I really have done very little. Today's my day to shine.
How do you start it? No jokes.
Oh, top right.
Push the red button for ignition.
That is the wildest tow vehicle, I think, on Earth. It's either this side or the actual cool side. So I've made it to the Adelaide Motorsports Festival, and you can hear the cars all around me. You can see some of the cars around me as well. Really just taking it in. I've never been to an event like this, and while we have our own car, at the end of the day, that's what I'm gonna be seeing 90% of for the show. So I'm trying to sneak away and see what the event's all about. But as we were driving in, there were F1 cars on track, and they were screaming. And so I want to get a clip of potentially all the different open wheel cars that are like mine here at the event. So this right here is, of course, one of many pieces of history here. And Brabham is the company that did the vacuum car in F1. It's not this one. This one's a little bit more special in its own way. But yeah, it's really wild to see all this stuff in person. This is where I'm supposed to be. That's beautiful. Ford F1. That's so funny. That's so cool. This is utterly insane. I keep getting stopped by other people who are just as enthusiastic about all this, and that's totally the fun part about this. But I just want to try to share it with you guys. Like, obviously, getting into the whole IndyCar stuff, like seeing these cars and seeing them. These are all ones that are driving, not just a show. Actual driving cars, and so I'm trying to take it in. I'm gonna be stuck with my car the whole weekend, and I'm okay with that. But I want to see and hear these things hit, the rev limiter, preferably while I'm standing next to my little cool car. Here we go. This is my first and hopefully last time out on track. Well, today it is my last, but I'm super curious with minimal tuning. I just want it to sound good, so we will see. But I'm gonna suit up, not on this side of the car, but that side. So this will be my first time ever tracking a right-hand drive car. Here we go. This is actually my very first time driving the car. This is the second time in my life, second continent, where I have first shaken down a car with a Haltech fresh in it at the track, at speed. No driving, no other shaking down. That's how good the ECU is that it lets a guy like me go to a place like that with a car like this and just have fun. Here we go. Oh my God. It's doing it! Yeah, we'll bring it in. The fuel system's got an issue. We did it, we survived the very first event. Having fuel pickup issues, but we survived it with a car that's the first time ever being driven on anything, not just the track. And I love it. That NA 3-rotor wants to keep on going. I want to point out how insane having nothing crazy happen is with a project like this. 4 days ago, the engine wasn't in the car, and their team got it all together. I got to tune it last second. I just got really good tuning data now. We fixed a fuel system issue, but like I said earlier, that was what I was expecting. We saw some weird things, and the Haltech handled all of it. And I got to focus on enjoying Adelaide. So when you step out of a car and have ideas of what you want to do to fix it, that's a car. That's a real car. That's not a project anymore. That's your car that you're fixing. And that's the best case scenario to come out of this. One single track session is that the car has things to do. We have things we want to work on. But the car is a car. It's not a collection of pieces anymore. It is a living, breathing machine. We got a taste of what it can do, and let's fix some things and then get back out there and show the rest. But really, mission accomplished. We did what we set out to do. We're having the time of our lives, and of course, all of us are guys that are like, well, but what if we a little bit more? And that's what this is all about.
It isn't? No, not in Australia. It's so sick.
So we made it, and this is super epic. You got all the people in Adelaide. The city's like embracing the car culture. I'm blaming Jay on this one. He weighs a little bit more than me, I think, and the tail shaft was rubbing as we were driving, and so I was like making the car go ever so slightly forward and then revving it so that way the audience got, like, people all along the street got exactly what the car is meant to do. And so, 9,000 RPM, this thing just sings. But it's time to hang out with the people, party. I think I'm gonna go on stage and speak. I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about.
500 of the supercars every year, so
It's time to load up. It's perfect. We're gonna load up and head back out. I am so glad we did yesterday. That's all I'm gonna say about this. This couldn't have been a more perfect combination of events. It is raining for the actual event, and had we not done exactly what we did, it would have been a bust. But this car is absolutely mental. If I was British, that's what I would say. But we had one big issue, and it was the fuel system. And this is how impressive to me the Haltech data is. The fuel system was brand new. So of course, logically, that's not broken. It was wired wrong internally. On the soldered joints, the fuel system was wired backwards. And nobody would know, but the Haltech knew. And so we were diagnosing it while we were on track, but it at least gave me the opportunity to hear it sing all the way up to 9,000 RPM. So the guys swapped pumps out, and I mean, it's 100%. This car is absolutely perfect, except for the fact that Jay, true to his name, low standards, lowered it too much. And what happened was either Jay or both of us need to go on a diet, because as we were in the parade, the car was rubbing on the drive shaft. And so I had to accelerate and then let off the gas so the car would lean forward, stop squealing, put it in neutral, rev it for the fans, and then as soon as the car would settle again, I mean, if that's the type of problems you're talking about, that is a job well done. So today, who knows what's gonna happen? I might go out there for a couple minutes, and yet again, it'll show you that you can build a car this quickly if you're insane enough, and it survive all different environments, not just the most ideal ones. Yeah, mad respect. It's just absolutely boring, and all these guys are maniacs. You know how big your balls have to be to drive an open wheel car, to drive an expensive, irreplaceable open wheel car, to drive it with other cars on the track, and it also be absolutely raining? These guys are nuts. So this is quite possibly the biggest fork in the road for me. You got all the new Lamborghinis, which I've not seen in person yet, but then hidden behind these guys are all the rotaries. Anybody that brings a car out like this, knowing it's gonna rain, and it's beautiful, it's way better condition than my car, and still drives it anyway, I love you. Doesn't matter if it's rotary or not, but in this case, it's definitely rotary. Got RX2s, 1300. Obviously the first gen. Just, what the variety. It's so different than the States. Oh, somebody's getting towed off track. This is if I go to drive my car out there. Except he looks cooler doing it. I hate to be countryist, but this is exactly the type of stuff I was expecting to see here. And with the rain, it's probably the right move. It's so funny. This is so rare to them. American, this is the average car, but here this is very, very unique. As you can tell, it's raining, and so we're gonna just make the most of it. I am on 30-year-old tires. At least I had a couple seconds of track driving yesterday, so just show you just like this is the thrill of the game. We're having fun, no matter the weather. Just protecting the intake manifold. Real time.
So what's in the box?
What's in the box? Yeah.
I never opened it.
Oh, you don't know what's in it?
No.
Oh yeah, 6 rotor parts. Yeah, delivery in Adelaide. Yep.
That's air temperature inside the engine. Obviously heat, cooling,
Oh yep.
and a little O2 sniffer.
That's perfect. How's she fire up? Ready? We did it. I made it back to the airport, this time being dropped off in the creation that we made. I'm already bummed out, but all good things have to come to an end, and that was absolutely hilarious. That echo, I can't explain how loud that echo was in that little tunnel dropping the car off, so if there were cops, they certainly would have heard it.